Got your 3-day high. Dry your tears, don't cry. Got your 3-day high. Dry your tears, don't cry. Do what it takes, do what it takes. Do what it takes, do what it takes. Do what it takes to get your 3-day high. Tell me, is this my fault or is it yours? I'd read it all aloud, but you closed all the doors. I needed someone to comfort me and not make me feel alone. This is what I thought love was, fighting, fighting, all because I didn't fit at a size 2. I didn't do what you want me to. Got your 3-day high. Dry your tears, don't cry. Got your 3-day high. Dry your tears, don't cry. Do what it takes, do what it takes. Do what it takes, do what it takes. Do what it takes to get your 3-day high. Do what it takes, do what it takes. Do what it takes, do what it takes. Do what it takes to get your 3-day high. Do what it takes, do what it takes. Do what it takes, do what it takes. Do what it takes to get your 3-day high. The roads don't have all the curves that they used to, but I refuse to make a change tonight. I caught the highway empty and alone, and everywhere I go, it's always gonna show. I'm burning through my gasoline like cigarettes, and the ghost that likes to haunt my car is free to coalesce. These habits, they just never seem to cease, and the cigarettes, they rot my brains and teeth. I'm biding my time as I'm biting my nails, and I'm pulling out my hair, 'cause these habits I can never seem to beat. Taken right back to where I began. I never know where to go, 'cause I just can't understand. I keep running myself in circles and still I pick up the pieces but just don't have the will. I've dealt with all this shit for way too long. Demons, won't you let me go? I'm never moving on. These habits, they just never seem to cease, and the cigarettes, they rot my brains and teeth. I'm biding my time as I'm biting my nails, and I'm pulling out my hair, 'cause these habits I can never seem to beat. Save me from myself. Save me from myself. Save me from myself. Save me from myself. These habits have been tearing me apart, finding I'm only halfway through the dark. I'm doing my best and I'm trying to care, and I know I'm alone. Mr. Blue, I told you that I love you, please believe me. Mr. Blue, I have to go now, darling, don't be angry. I know that you're tired, know that you're sore and sick and sad for some reason. And I can see it in your face, you've been wanting to break since you woke up this morning. Mr. Blue, don't hold your head so low that you can't see the sky. Mr. Blue, it ain't so long since you were flying high. Mr. Mr.
Hello there, my name is John. For those of you that don't know, I'm the guitarist for the band Until Further Notice. You can check us out everywhere. We've got a YouTube page, which you might be watching this on right now. Welcome, Ren. Welcome into the chat. Good to see you. In fact, let me go ahead and get the chords out of the way so we can actually say hi to the chat real quick. Hola. It's good to see you. Today, I'm going to be teaching you guys the final, not the closer of the album, but the last one that we're teaching. The final track for This Is Temporary. It's known as I'm Blue. It's probably one of my favorite guitar parts I've written. And if you're here because I posted the story on my Instagram, I said it's probably the hardest 6-string song I've ever made, to date, of course. And I mean that in a very specific way, because it's really not the most physically hard for me to play. Like, there's some solo stuff that I've written that's... Let me put my guitar on. Like, there's stuff that's, you know, very technically difficult, and it's very hard to pull off. You have to physically get your hand there. What I mean by difficult for this song is just conceptually and also performance. It's a good mesh of them. And it's right in my range of skill where I feel like I can solidly play it consistently, but it still is fun and presents a challenge every time. I almost always play this song when I pick it up. When I pick up my guitar. Now, for those of you that have never been here or are wondering, yes, I play on a 7-string Ibanez. So for this song, because it doesn't use the 7th string, you're going to have to ignore this extra string. So if you're looking at my hands and it looks weird, like I'm not in the right position, it's because that 7th string is a low B. It's not that E. So if you're actually trying to learn this song from me, that's a little hang up that we're going to have. Am I blue? Da ba dee da ba okay. Da da boo dee da boo dee. Oh, okay. It's a pickup. Da boo dee da boo da. Okay. That makes sense. Yes. Everybody says that. Whenever I say we have a song named I'm Blue, they always go to friggin' that song, which honestly, I don't think I've ever heard in its entirety. It's just the name. It's just the name Ray came up with when we were working for it. And it's a great name for the lyrics, I gotta say. All right. So let's go ahead and, just like all of these other lessons, let's go ahead and listen to the song real quick. You've never heard it in its entirety, too. Fair enough. Yeah. But people still reference it. Our version we'll overtake that version. Somehow, someday. All right. Let's go ahead and listen to I'm Blue. This is what I'm going to be teaching you guys tonight.
but nothing means more to you than I do. Everything is better. It's better if your world has no You think I'm none the wiser, but I know better than everyone you bring home. Hey, yeah, don't want forget me, I won't dare to keep repeating you everywhere. Don't wanna hurt anymore, just begin to be fucking aware.
Ooh, swearsies at the end. Uh-oh. Yeah. You'll need to get used to that. I always love playing this guitar, but honestly, the guitar thoroughly exceeds my range. So I don't even try to sing the guitar parts half the time. I don't have the vocal control. Oh, you singers and your ability. Anyways. All right, let's go ahead and dig into this song. First things forced. This is the rhythm part. We're gonna start with the rhythm part. Hang out a bit. No need to see the chords right now. They're just gonna get in the way. They're gonna draw your eye when they don't need to. All right. So here's the thing about the song. Structure goes. There's a little intro like pickup measure, or two measures rather. Yeah, there's two intro pickup measures just on one chord. The chorus itself plays. You got verse 1, another chorus which is the same as the one before, verse 2. You got like a clean bridge breakdown, and then you have the outro. Song structure is super simple in terms of just the sectioning. Now the chorus itself is probably the most complicated, and I say that just because it's got a non-repeating guitar progression. There's a lot of guitar progressions that you'll hear, like 3-Day High, for instance. The rhythm, the chord progression repeats 4 times, right? It goes the open string, that low E, and then the C sharp, which is the 6th of the chord, or of the scale. Actually, this is what I want to tell you. There you go. See? They're very common, is just these looping chord progressions. And sometimes you have little variations on it. Sometimes there's little changes, but generally the chord progression stays the same. I'm Blue. I wrote it after seeing a video talking about how like classical composers wrote or something, where they would not have that looping chord progression. They would kind of take you on a chord journey, I guess. That was the message I got from it. It might have been totally like off from what the video was actually trying to say. But Mozart, Beethoven, Chopin especially. Prelude number, one of the preludes in E minor. There's a TED Talk video of this old guy with frizzy hair playing it. And he talks about it. You literally, the chord progression is just taking you on this journey. And even when it repeats, there's big changes in how it goes. And it like finally settles on the last chord. So I wanted to do something like that. I just didn't want to have a chord progression that just repeats, was the message I took away from it. So I made this song. The chord progression itself is all based in the key of E major. So just to give you fret numbers for those of you that aren't theory nerds like me, I mean, like, I don't, you know what I mean. All right, so you can think of it as it uses every note of the E major scale as a root note for a chord besides the 7th. So you're not going to use that diminished chord at all. So you're going to go, all of the chords that are in play, root note wise, if we're talking rhythm progression, are E power chord, that low E, 2nd fret, so F sharp, 4th 4th fret, G sharp. 5th fret, which is A, so you can also do open A. And then 7th fret, or which really I tend to keep it down here in first position. So 2nd fret of the A string, that's the B power chord. C sharp, which is the 4th fret. So those are the 6 power chords that you're gonna be bouncing around between. In various different orders and positions. All right, so let's get this started. That intro section starts with just a low E power chord for 2 measures, and you're gonna build up on it in mute, palm mute. Oh, I want to take this part before we really dive in to say thank you for coming. And we are actually going to have a little just chat after the rhythm guitar part is done. We're gonna sit, talk, hang out. If you got any friends, invite them to the stream, and then once we have that little like 15-minute break, we're gonna hop into the lead part, and then that'll be part of the stream, however long that takes. If it gets us to like 4 o'clock, 4:30 or so, then we'll end it there. If not, I might play some games. So we'll see. Or I'll do like requests, random requests. This is the final video for teaching you guys how to play This Is Temporary song. So unless we redo like I Want to Tell You or Misere, because I think those got lost. Those didn't get put on YouTube. Don't have any friends. Carter's at work and Perron's probably asleep. Fair enough. Well, hey, you have us. So thank you for coming. Thank you for being. All right. Let's get it. So, intro measure for like, or intro section for 2 measures. You're going to hang on that open E. Boom. So, that's it. There you go. First section done. Intro is out of the way. The chorus chord progression. This is where it really starts. This is, I'm going to have to, I think I wrote it down. Let me go ahead and, actually, John, will you be my friend to watch this stream with me? Absolutely. Let me go ahead and put a piece of text on screen. I should be able to do that. Yes. Add source. All right. Chord progression. Now, I'm going to label this chord progression in Roman numerals. So, really, let me, here. I'm going to do it all caps. Let me also get the chord progression. So, I'm going to do this in Roman numerals. What those Roman numerals represent is which scale degree we've got, depending on where we are in the chorus. So, if I say 1, if you see this scale degree 1, that means that it's the E power chord, because that's the first note in the E major scale. That's what 1 means. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If that makes sense. And then for those of you that know a little bit of theory, this probably won't be surprising to you. So let's go ahead and throw this up here. We're going to first do, the chord progression starts with 4. Let me increase the font size as well so you guys better. Boom. Giant. Should be able to edit this, right? Properties. Awesome. I like it. Here is the chord progression. I'm just gonna keep resizing it until we're good. All right. Little smaller. There we go. Like it. So, properties. Go. I'm actually gonna label this, so if anybody comes into the stream afterwards, it will know. I'm blue. Chorus progression. Boom. There we go. Look at us being all fancy. So nice. Welcome, A-Sad. Good to see ya. 12,000. You've committed a lot. Wow. So uncomfortable when you don't finish the scale. Oh, that's so fun. Okay, so the chord progression, it go through the 4th, and then to the 6th. Oh yeah, I need to caps lock on. 1st, 2nd. I should probably be labeling these as major and minor. However, for the rhythm part, it doesn't matter. And by the way, for those of you, fun music theory fact, if you're looking at one of these chord symbol charts or chord progression charts like this, just know that when you see the letters in lowercase, that means it's minor. So if I were to write VI, like this is E major, right? So, but if I were to write like VI, like say the sixth was minor for some reason, you'd see it like this. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just writing this because we're using dominant fifth chords, power chords. And so there's actually no major or minor that's relevant to them because they're all just very stable harmony. Okay. Not that major or minor isn't stable. You know what I mean? You know. I know you guys know. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and write this out. So 4 to 6 to 1 to 2 to 5 to 4. 1. This feels like I'm writing out like the digits of pi. Like it's just some non-repeating like series of 2. Where am I? I need to make sure I'm not like I'm like keeping even spaces in between. 2, 3, 4, 6. And some of these you hold twice as long. Or you like hit twice as short. So the amount of time you hit these notes will differ. I know what part we're at too. This is fun, like singing it in my head. And then when I was in 4th grade, I learned like 60 digits of pi, and you still remember. That's dope. That's such a cool skill to have. I like that. That's super fun. Bravo. Awesome. We can fit it. Hopefully you guys can properly see that. I can properly see that, and I have a smaller monitor screen for it. So, all right. There is the I'm Blue chorus progression. Boom. So, let's go ahead and teach it to you. I want to include in there that is a rhythm. Rhythm. Chorus progression. Done. Boom. Gotcha. So, yeah, when we recorded this song, I mean, UFN still only has one guitarist. And so this rhythm part is really more to beef up the bass part. The bass part essentially follows this progression with a few changes, a few fills in between, like riffs connecting the main notes. But really, this rhythm part is something that was never super accentuated because I only ever play the live version where I play the full chords. And so the lead part does follow this progression as well, but does same with the bass. Does a lot of riffs in between. We'll do a lot of weird extended chords that are that have the same root note, but emphasize a lot of different notes. So let me go ahead and just tilt it all the way down so you can actually see my guitar, so you can see my hands. This is going to be a lot more useful to you guys, I reckon. So, all right, rhythm part for I'm Blue. Let's go. Get a nice little crunchy, low balanced rhythm sound to it. All right, so you've got that 2-measure intro on that low E. I say reckon all the time. Yeah. All right, so the chord progression goes 4, which is the A. 1, 2, 3. There's no set rule for how long you will hold these, but I'll kind of give you the general. You'll have to listen to the song to see how far spaced out they are, because some of them will hit on the of the 4, like they'll hit on anticipation right before the downbeat when you change chords. So it's very different. I will at least show you what the strumming pattern is for them, just so you can kind of see. At least, show. I'm not going to be like going through and say, okay, you do an upstroke here, and then you do a downstroke here, because it really doesn't matter. As long as you're carrying out these chords and you're hitting the right emphasized notes, like the very specific right emphasized notes, you're fine. So 4, which is the A, to C sharp. This is just a 6. Make sure you kind of hit those downbeats and yeah, you kind of really punctuate the metronomic kind of rhythm. And again, it's okay to throw in an upstroke or an extra, strum here and there. I generally will fall into, that kind of like alternating strumming pattern on eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But I still, for this intro part, will do just quarter notes. Just hitting on every pulse. And then you go down to that low E, the F sharp. When you get to that B, which is the first 5, the first V you see in the chord progression up top, that is only 2 quarter note stabs. You don't continue the chord out, you don't keep strumming. It's 2 stabs, and you immediately lift, not all the way, but you mute with your fingers. You lift off the chord, so it mutes it. It's a really quick kind of double punch. So, intro, which is a build up, and then A, C sharp, E, F sharp, B. So that B is the first time you really stop and punch. And then once you've hit that double hit on B, you go down to that A, which is the 4. You go back to the 4 again, and you hang on this one for a while, for 2 measures. And then you go to E. And I usually will like to hit the downbeats there too and mute them. But it's not mandatory. You could actually probably just play through that E. You could probably go from A. I personally, though, when I play the rhythm part to the song, I'll do the stabs on the E. All right, we're about halfway through the chorus at this point. So you've got 5 to 4 to 1. And now we're at that middle point, 2 to 3 to 4 to 6. So this part's a little tricky, and it's just because it's a kind of fast chord switch. But you go F sharp, so that's the second fret of E, and you go to the 4th fret, so that G sharp, just for 1 strum. And you go right up to the 5th fret of the E string, so you hit that A. You can also do the open string. It's just more convenient to slide right up to the 5. And then you go to the 6, which is that C sharp. And that is another one where you want to hit the double stab. And then when you go down to the 5 of the chord, back down to that B, you only hit it once this time because you've already done the double stab on the C sharp. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we are on pretty much the last 2 measures. No, the last 4 measures of the chorus. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm on 8th notes at this point. You hit the 3. This is the last. This is the 4th to last, 3rd to last, and 2nd to last chord. 3, 4, and then 2. And then you go up to 4. So you'll go back to that 4. Bum, 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 bum. Just like that. All right. So in order, I'm going to play it slow, and I'm just really going to call out the chord switches, and then we're going to try to do it full speed, and then I'm going to play the track with it because it's good to hear it. This guitar part, this low rhythm part, is really quiet in the mix. It's really just meant to add a lot of background grit and noise while still maintaining, some harmonic character there. So when it's really loud, it can actually kind of clash with the lead part a slight bit because the lead's playing all these weird chords, especially low, muddy chords down in this register. So let's go ahead and start it out. So we've got that intro. We're going to actually skip the intro because the next time you do the chorus, you're going to be coming from the verse. So you actually want to not have that low E chord in your head because it's not part of the chorus. You just start on that A in the second chorus. So you do that low intro, and then you do the first chord, which is the A. 1, 2, 3, 4. C sharp, E, F sharp, B, A, hold it, down to E, and then you hold it again. Then to F sharp, slide up to A, C sharp, B, 4. And then you are in the verse. All right. Now, and again, I didn't call out the chords for that, just for the very end because it just kind of went by fast. So it's G sharp, A, F sharp, and then A again. All right. Now let's go ahead and play it full speed. I'm just going to play it, and hopefully you can play with me, and then we'll play it another time with the track. So 1, 2, and we're just going to start from the chorus. So forget about the E chord for now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. All right, then we're in the verse. All right, one more time through. And we're going to play this low E chord to start with it. I would say since the track starts instantly, don't feel like you have to hop on, like try to time it with it. Just pick up the chorus honestly actually from the A because you're going to hear that little and that starts the chorus. So when you hear wait, just know right after is where the A begins. All right. Do it. There you go. And then we're into the verse. So, again, don't feel bad if you need to go back and practice that. Commit that to memory because you're going to play it one more time as well. And then we're in the verse. The verse, luckily, does not have this little quirk of wanting to be its own little special snowflake that doesn't repeat within itself. The verse does repeat. It repeats within itself. It's so much fun, though, because you get to mess around with dynamics. You just get to groove. Props to Daniel Sherman, by the way, for the amazing drum part on this. It really, really fits. It's so tight, and it's so... The way he did his playing was specifically to accentuate the guitar part. So I am very happy that we had him on this song. I hope I've been mentioning all the drummers for the lessons. I'm so sorry if I forgot any of you guys. I really do appreciate all of you. Shout out to all of them. Mark Duncanson, Daniel Sherman, our original drummer, Dallas DeCarey, our recently left us drummer, Rory McIntosh Turner. Amazing dude. So sad to see him go, but he's off to better things. Maybe not better things, but other things that are better for him. And then we've got Gray Janowski, Zach Demo, and Christian Carranza. I believe that's everybody. I'm going to feel so bad if I miss somebody. Let me count again. Dan Sherman, Dallas DeCarey, Rory McIntosh Turner, Mark Duncanson, Gray Janowski. I hope I said Daniel Sherman. Zach Demo. And then I feel like I'm Christian Carranza. There you go. 7, 8 or 9. And then 8 and 9. Technically, Jack and I wrote the drums for another song, so that's why we can say we had 9 drummers on this album. I did say Daniel twice. Shoot. I don't think I counted Daniel the second time I said him. I just kind of left my finger going. So, all right. We've got that chorus. All right, now let's go ahead and get into the verse. First thing to know about the first verse, there is a tacked on 3 beat rest at the very beginning of the verse. Yes, and so you can think of it as tacked onto the end of the first chorus, but I think of it as tacked onto the beginning of the first verse. So, when you exit the chorus, you go hang on the A, 1, 2, 3, and then you start the verse progression. So let me go ahead and hide the rhythm guitar. Oh no, it says chorus progression up there. All right, the verse progression for the rhythm guitar is pretty simple. The only chords that are in play for you should be that low E that we've already used. It's all chords we've already used. That low E, the G sharp, so the 4th fret of the E string, and the 4th fret of the A string, that C sharp. The chord progression goes E, G sharp, C sharp, and then E, C sharp, G sharp. I literally draw like a like a right angle with the root notes. Like I go E, and then a line, like just a line in my head that follows the string up to G sharp, and then a line directly down at a 90-degree angle to C sharp, and then it goes to the opposite. It's a diagonal line from open E to C sharp, and then a line down. I don't know why I think geometrically, but I do. So you can also throw in a little slide up to A when you go from E to C sharp to G sharp. Just before the pattern repeats, you can do that little slide up to A. I don't think I do it every time, and I'm not even 100% sure it's in there for both verses, or that it's not already there for both verses, but it's a good thing to do. I think it fits either way if you play it without it or with it. But let's go ahead and at least I'll show you the strumming pattern for it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see that I'm doing 2 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3. 3 quarter notes actually. 1, 2. Well, I'm hitting on the first 3 notes. So 2 quarter notes. And that third one on 3, 2, 3. I actually open it up. So it's been muted it's muted most of the time. 3, 4. And I do little strums too, little chukka strums. And when you get to the 3rd chord, every third and 6th chord of the chord progression. So the C sharp the first time through, and then the G sharp the second time through. You're gonna basically build up from a muted chord, and you just play in 8th notes. Just slowly let off the mute. And then when you open up, play light at first, and then really strum on it. So 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're back into the chorus. It's really that simple. The verse progression is pretty chill in the rhythm part. All right. Yeah, so it really just repeats twice. And yeah, that chord that you build up on, you're going to do twice as long as the 2 chords before it. 2, 3, 4. 2 measures. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you do that little slide up to A for flavor, only do it the first time through this whole chord progression. Don't do it in the second time, because you're going to need to go to that A for the chorus. It goes directly into that. So just hang on that low G sharp, and then you're back into the chorus. So yeah, we already have the chorus and the verse learned. Now there's only really one variation in the second. Well, there's 2 points I want to make about the second verse. I've already taught you the first chorus, same exact thing as the second chorus, so you can just copy paste the progression from up there, all in power chords. As long as you know the rhythms and the spacings, should be the exact same. The second time we go to the verse, it's immediately in. There is no 3-measure rest, or 3-beat rest, not 3. Jesus, 3 measures. There's no 3-beat rest on the second verse. You just go straight from right into the second verse. And the other note about the second verse that's important to realize is that when you go up to that C sharp for the first time, where you're doing the build on it, literally right after the chorus. So 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let the fourth measure of that verse just hit the downbeat on the 1 and let it ring out, or let it mute, and let the lead guitar take space, because the lead guitar is doing a little point, a little lead riff at that point. So you just let the lead guitar play it, and then hop right back in on that low E chord when it finishes. And then you do C sharp like normal, G sharp, up to A, G sharp, C sharp, keep going, G sharp, build, and then it breaks into the bridge. There's a ton of space, there's a ton of clean guitars, there are no rhythm guitars during this bridge. So don't even worry about it. You've already done the first like 2/3 of I'm Blue. All we have left is the outro. So let me go ahead and review. We've got the intro is just that low E power chord for 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. And actually, I should have mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Do not play through the whole thing, because the lead guitar also does another little lead. So you don't want to play during that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. On the second measure, 3rd beat, hit that chord on the downbeat and just and then stop it. And then you'll go right into the chorus. So chord progression is up there. Really, it's just going to be listening to it, getting the timing right, and the emphasis on the strums. The really important strums are really that 5, the first B, and then the what is it? The 6 and to the 5, which is near the very end. 6, 5. You can see 6, 5, 3, 4, 2, 4. On that 6 and 5, remember 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are really the main ones to get, because those are stops for the lead guitar to do a little riff. All right, so let me review. Yes, low E for 1.5 measures with that mute, so 2 measures really. 4, 6, 1, 2, 5, 4, down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5, 3, 4, 2, up to 4, hold it, 3-beat rest, 1, 2, 3, E, G sharp, C sharp, build, E, C sharp, G sharp, build, slide up to A, same thing, G sharp, C sharp, E, C sharp, G sharp, don't go to A, chorus again, ba, ba. Hold it, hold that A, down to E, F sharp, G sharp, A, C sharp, 1, 2, 3, 4, B, 3, 4, 2, 4, straight into the verse, E, G sharp, C sharp, build up, stop, 2, 3, 4, E, C sharp, G sharp, slide up to A, E, G sharp, C sharp, E, C sharp, G sharp. And then at that point, the chord progression does move to A, but that's all clean guitars. So don't worry about that. There's no rhythm part for that. Woo! All right. We got through that. The last part is actually pretty simple. The last outro part is more of a right arm exercise than a left arm exercise because there's a lot of like important strumming and accents to give. But let's go ahead and run through it. You can think of this outro part of I'm Blue as 2 looping chord progressions that go back and forth, and then the second time it gets to the second progression, it just loops that one over and over until the very end. So the first progression, they're both 3 chord loops, just like how we have the verse. It's just those three chords that you go back and forth between. For the outro, it starts with, and just to give you an idea what I'm talking about, there's this build-up part. This is coming out of the bridge. 2, 3, 4. This is the outro part I'm talking about. As you can probably see, I went from down here doing a little looping chord progression up to here, and then I did a little loop. All right, so those 2 loops on the 2 halves of the guitar. This is for the lead part. This is so da. It's gonna take me so long to like remember that, like every time that there's a pickup on the da. All right, so the first looping chord progression is that low E, so the 1, and then the 3, which is that G sharp, 2, which is F sharp, and then just repeat that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I would say don't do those that I just naturally did. I'm a bad rhythm guitarist. Fastest you should do at this point is 8th notes, probably. And they're very, like, confident strums. You're hitting the downbeat. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, E, G sharp, F sharp. Sorry, E, G sharp, F sharp. E, G sharp, F sharp. So you do that twice. So, the second loop goes A. You can treat these a little more open. As you can see, the first one, there was a lot of muted, like, just noise strums in between. For this one, there's a lot more holding of the notes. So A, C sharp, E. A, C sharp, E. It's that simple. So A, C sharp, E, A, C sharp, E, and then back to the first progression. So yeah, you do that first progression twice, second progression twice, first progression twice again, second progression twice again, and then it hangs on that second progression and just keeps doing it with more intensity. So, and more speed as well. So you can kind of think of the outro as having 2 sections. You've got the section where you're like over a halftime groove, really grooving and just playing that, those really spaced out chords. Do it again. A, C sharp, E. So, just to count it out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So each cycle of chords will take 2 measures. So each progression takes 4 measures. Now, once you've played each one twice, the next part is keeping on that same progression. 2, 3, 4. You cut the time it takes you to cycle those chords from the second progression, the A, C sharp, and E, cut the time it takes you to do them in half. And so you're all on eighth notes at this point. 3 eighth notes for the A chord, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 for the C sharp. Yes, so it'll go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Remember, there are 8 eighth notes in a measure. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 chords in a row that hit 3 eighth notes. So that's 12 eighth notes. And then we do 1, 2, 1, 2, which is 4 notes. So that adds up to 16 eighth notes in a row. And that completes 2 measures. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah, so those, it's not triplets, just so you know. It is all eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2. It's just that you're accenting and you're changing chords every 3 eighth notes. So you got to kind of count in eighth notes and just know that when you're bobbing to the quarter note, the first chord, the first stroke on the first chord is going to hit on your downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And then the second chord is on the 4th eighth note, and that's going to be on an upbeat. That's going to be the and of 2. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just like that. So you're not counting triplets. I'm counting in threes, but they're all on the eighth note grid. So you just got to think 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and get used to accenting the downbeat and then the offbeat and then the downbeat and then the offbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, exactly, Jack. Exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It's so fun because the emphasis, because it's groups of 4 and you're hitting every 3 notes, the emphasis shifts. So instead of doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, you hit a beat early every time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, but again, it kind of resets itself by doing 1, 2, 1, 2. It hits 2 that are 2 eighth notes each time at the very end of it. So you go through the chords twice. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, one good way that it builds energy, and the lead part does this in spades, but the rhythm part does it too. When you go to this part, just hit the downbeats. This is going to be really hard because you have to really be counting in eighth notes. But 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then after you've played, I'll call that whole cycle, right? As it does the 1, 2, 1, 2. I'll call each one of that one phrase. After you've done 2 phrases of that, then you can start to throw in those little extra strums on the other eighth notes. It'll help you count it better. So the first 2 cycles, first 2 phrases of the very last outro part are 1. So you can see that very last one where you start to throw in those extra strums that actually show you all of the eighth notes that are being played and being felt. For the very end of it, so you do one cycle of it, and then you do the A, and then the C sharp, and then you go to the G sharp instead of going to the E, and then you hold that G sharp out for a little bit, and then that's the end of the song. So, to recap, the outro goes from this really groovy, like, back and forth chord progression part. E, G sharp, F sharp, E, G sharp, F sharp, A, C sharp, E, A, C sharp, E. Repeat it. E, G sharp, F sharp, E, G sharp, F sharp, A, C sharp, E, A, C sharp, E, faster. 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 4 and hopefully that's clear enough. I know it's a really weird, very rhythmic part. That's what I really like about this song. The whole thing is super rhythmic. It's super offbeaty. It's very much about the accents. You might be playing on eighth notes most of the time, but you're gonna have very specific points you have to make sure you don't play. Make sure you really strum hard on these other ones. It's a super fun guitar part, and we haven't even gotten to the lead part yet. So let's go ahead and take a break. It's almost an hour into the stream, at least from when I started. Let's go ahead and take a little break and just chat. Let's just hang out. I'm actually going to kind of mute my guitar here, put it kind of to the side where I'm put my pick down, all that stuff, and talk with you guys. How you doing? It's good. Let me put the camera back up. I can always see there. How you guys doing? It's good to see you. Thank you for coming to the stream. I know, let's see, Ray is here, Ren is here, Jack is here. Prawn is asleep, I'm sure. I actually messaged, hopefully, oh yeah, Christian, I messaged about, hey, this stream's happening, because he's shown interest before in wanting to learn these parts, but he's currently doing some filming right now. Let me make sure the camera's focused. Focus, dude. Focus, man. There we go. Perfect. Good enough. I know, right? So what do you guys think of the series so far? Because, I mean, well, it's at its end, but hopefully I've been at least somewhat informative. What's it been like for people who don't play? Because you guys have just kind of been hanging out. Is it interesting seeing this side of it, or you enjoy it? Okay, that's good. Yeah, because the guitar especially, I'm very happy to say that I feel like I can do a lot more. I don't know, like, I really feel like I can push myself in the band, but I'm also limited because, and in a good way, because I need to actually pull it back and make it workable in a song structure. I can't just, I was never the type of guitarist that really liked to do crazy solo shred stuff all the time. When I try to do it, I kind of have to get myself through it and do it sparingly, because I'm a lot more rhythmic in my playing, but I was also, you know, I had to, when I was learning a lot of the more complex stuff, I had to pull it back. Odd time signatures and stuff. Like, I still love, and they'll forever live as, like, sound check songs for me. But there's songs I wrote that are in, like, 5/8, and then transition to 5/4, and then do a solo in 4/4, and then back to 5/8. For another solo, like, it continues the solo into 5/8. It's very fun. However, it's very hard to bring that to the band. It's also, I don't know, I was kind of experimenting in, like, other styles as well, and I enjoy playing them, but they're not my, like, ultra favorite, I guess. I'm just very happy that I get to do this style of music. You know what I mean? Like, I really do like doing this. Like, I honestly, all right, we call ourselves alt rock pop punk. I honestly am in favor of just calling us alt pop punk, because that's kind of what we are, honestly. We're not that, like, really poppy, like, like, and I don't even know how to describe it. We're not, like, super poppy, but we've got those pop punk elements, and we just take sections of them, experiment with them, do dropped measures. We do a lot of add 9 chords, a lot of weird extended chords. Like, let me all clean and put reverb. A lot of fun stuff, you know. So I think I consider us alt pop punk, but I do accept alt rock pop punk as, like, a hybrid, because it's similar. I would say that that's a really good. John petition to take out the pop. Take out the rock. Wait, yeah. No, not the rock. He'd kill me. I couldn't take him out. I'm not an assassin. You don't remember? I like that says Ember, but it's just an extra R. That's awesome. I don't remember. I Yeah, it's like because we're not punk rock. And I say that knowing full well like we've covered songs that are very like very on the edge of punk rock. But here's my classification as well. I should explain because when people say punk rock, I think they think a lot of Green Day. They think a lot of um, maybe a little bit of Sum 41, maybe the Ramones even, which it's got a lot of punk rock stuff. However, I don't know, I have friends that are really into like the hardcore scene, and to them, punk rock is a really distinct, like hardcore adjacent genre. It's very like aggressive, a lot more. I'm trying to think of a song. My friend likes the band Jawbreaker. I've never really listened to their stuff. I can't say whether or not I recommend it, but it's just I don't know. I think I look at when somebody says punk rock, I think of it a lot more specifically than most people, which is not useful when you're trying to communicate. So I consider us more pop punk, I guess. Like Paramore, I think pop punk, the essence of pop punk is to me, Paramore, Fall Out Boy, um, even Green Day, especially modern Green Day. Um, Sum 41, I think, has a lot of pop punk elements, but also a little more punk. They're more punk influenced. Blink 182 is pop punk to a T, I would say. I think that they're really like, it's really bright, it's really major. There's a lot of, marching band fills. Genre is so confusing. Just call yourselves until further notice. I know, right? Like we do Christmas acoustic Christmas albums. We do like singer songwriter like seventh chords freaking oh my gosh. Guitar. I want more reverb. That's too much reverb. I'll just stick with this. When the plate hits at 100%. Yeah, my pedal's maxed out, but then I have the mix of the dry signal and the pedal signal at 40%. Let's see what 100% reverb until you play a bass. All right, this is what nothing but reverb sounds like. It's I cannot. It's delayed. Oh my god, it's so delayed from my. I can't. Hold on, I need to take my headphones off. I can't do it while hearing it. It does, and you're really far away from me. Now it's back to normal. Wait, this is at 35%. I'm sorry, this is 35% reverb. That's what I keep it at. This is definitely not your grandma's reverb that you put on T Stockholm Syndrome. This might be. I have a couple different reverb options on the pedal board. This isn't delayed. This is like the direct reverb signal. This is your grandma's reverb. More of like a hall kind of sound. Yeah, exactly. I love that little emote. So that's actually an interesting question. I might have to get you guys get your opinion. Because the reason I have that weird slapback reverb is because the only reason I have that, I love all the bread. The only reason I have all that slapback reverb is because that's the only way I can get the reverb to continue making noise after I turn it off. So if you'll notice, if I strum really, hear that reverb going out. If I strum again and then turn it off in the middle of it, it totally cuts it off. It just cuts off the reverb harshly. Now, that doesn't happen with the slapback reverb. I turned it off, and you can still hear it. I'm literally clicking it on, strumming, instantly turning it off, and it still goes. Added benefit is it gives you space for attack sound. Exactly. You can actually, because it's just a mix, it's literally the volume of the dry signal is here, and the volume of the reverby signal is here. You still get the sound of that plucky original signal, the dry signal. However, you do have the fact that it doesn't work super well as just a nice full reverb if you're doing single notes and like stunted single notes. You kind of have to let it bleed into it. Yeah, in full chords, like if I was playing Cat in the Window, because the ringing of the other notes hides the attack of the reverb, it just kind of slips into it. You need 8-bit pew pew. The boy who cried. Right. I hope that's not like ear bleedingly loud. Okay. Oh god. Okay, here's the thing. There is a synth setting on my board. Like I can make it sound like a synth. And if you play more than one note at a time, or just let notes bleed into each other the slightest bit, it changes the note. Because, I don't know if you know this, there's only one cable running from a guitar. So it can only transfer a certain amount of info. Our ears just recognize the sound of a guitar. But when the computer's trying to interpret it and turn it into something completely different, all it hears is one note. And then if you combine another note in it, the way the sound wave changes is not by adding another sound wave on top of it that's carried down the wire at the same time. It takes the difference between those frequencies, and our ears just know what that sounds like. It makes it sound like two notes. But the computer thinks it sounds like one note that is just the difference between those frequencies. So that's why when I try to make a power chord, and I play the low note, and then I play the higher note with it, you get a lower sound. The higher note should be that. You can see, no matter which direction I do it, no matter which note is added, first or second, computer fart was that note. It's taking the difference between them, which means the tritone, or sorry, the further. Oh my gosh, it sounds like a fax machine. It's very inconsistent. This is the problem with it. I can make it totally wig out. Okay, so that's the bass part for Boy Who Cried Suicide. Ooh, can I do the solo for Cat in the Window? That's not the solo. Okay, it's very hard because there's a lot of notes in Cat in the Window that bleed into each other. The bass part works amazingly. Yeah, I know, right? It's so nice. Okay, cat in the window. Okay, so I can't do the chords. Oh, you know what I can do? Hold up. I have a little setting on here that lets me make chords, like harmonies. It doubles my notes, and I can make chords out of them. Hold up. Let me put reverb on it. Hold up. Oh, this part's hard. I need to not let those bleed into each other. Parand, welcome. Yeah? Glad you can make it even just to pop in. We're just taking a break right now. Woo! We're just taking a break right now as I prepare to teach you guys the lead guitar part for I'm Blue. We just finished teaching the rhythm progression up there. We're going to refer to that as well when we go through the chorus part. There's a lot. There's a lot. The chord chart doesn't even do it justice. When I put up the chord chart, it's gonna unfortunately block out the chat, so you guys won't be able to see the chat on screen. Hopefully, you can still see it on Twitch. Thank you guys so much for showing up again. It's good to see you, and we are at the prime time now. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Let's go ahead and teach you guys how to play the lead part for probably my favorite guitar part on This Is Temporary. You just finished watching a movie. Actually, much angry because you didn't get a notification at all this time. We're suing Twitch. No, we're not. But that sucks. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining. I'm glad you could make it. And you joined at a perfect time. So, bust out your guitars. All right. This entire song just has distortion. Except for the bridge. The bridge transitions to a clean tone with reverb on it, and then the outro transitions back to just distortion. So the effects for this song are really minimal and really easy. Let's go ahead and throw up the chord chart here. As you can see, I do have the effects listed up there as well. It should say I've got, what is it, distortion and reverb, and standard tuning, 6-string guitar. This is the final little chord master. All right, let's go ahead and transition the camera back. Transition, as I just manhandle it back into position. Okay, let's go ahead and get this started. Good, you read that correctly then. Okay. So, first chord, and this is probably my favorite chord in the song, that E add 9. Woo, I love this chord so much. I go to it for so many reasons. Also, it's going to be kind of hard for me to read everything just because the text is kind of small. Here, let me make it larger so I can see as well. Here we go. Oh, I'm so close. Just got to get the proportions right. Awesome. I can kind of see all the chord symbols, so I should be able to call them out to you. You'll provide rhythmic romanji for music. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. So, first chord is an E add 9. Hit that open E, second fret of the A string, 4th fret of the D string, 1st fret of the G string. Really, you can think of it as an E major chord, where the D string, that 2nd fret of the D, is just shifted up to the 4th fret. So you play that with your pinky. So instead of this, you throw this up there. And then you kind of have to shift your hand a little more inwards. Make sure you still have a relaxed grip. This song can really, if you keep your wrist cocked and tight and everything, that's a fast way to carpal tunnel. So make sure you have your wrist as straight as possible. It's relaxed, and you're just lightly pressing. Still try to keep that arch, though. Don't let your fingers just drip over it. What's great as well is this chord is kind to all of the other high strings, that B and E. Those are all in the chord, so you can throw them in there as well. Really, you only need those lowest 4 notes, though. And again, I will remind you, for anybody who just joined, this low B string is not involved in the song. That's just I play a 7-string guitar. Always keep your wrist roostered. Yep. Wait, no, don't. Don't do this. Do this. I need you to keep your wrists. So, all right. E add 9. Just kind of build up on 8th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4 for 1 measure. Also, I want to make it clear, I might go over this lead lesson quicker than I did the rhythm part. And that's because I expect if you're learning the lead part, you're a little bit more versed. You kind of know some of the terminology I'm going to throw out. And I'll just refer to the chord chart. And if there's a chord that is the same shape on that chord chart and includes just the same finger positions, I'm going to reference any new chords that have that same shape by the existing chord symbol, and then just say it's modified. Like, for instance, that A7 omit 3, if that were to come back again on like the 3rd fret and the 5th fret and the 4th fret, same shape, which it doesn't in the song, but if it did, then I would refer to it just as the A7 chord on the 3rd fret. Yeah. Okay, so E add 9. Build up for 1 measure, muted. 2, 3, 4. Carry that same exact shape all the way up an octave. So you're now, from the 2nd, 4th, and 3rd fret, you're now on the 14th, 16th, and 13th fret of the A, D, and G. It's just a chord an octave higher, and you keep that low E going through the whole thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2. So you hold that first low one for 1 measure, hold the high one for 2 beats, so half a measure. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can kind of think of them separated by 8th notes, but this little lead pattern is just a bend on the D string. It's the last 2 beats of that 2nd measure of the intro. You go from the 16th fret, bend up to the 18th, back down to the 16th. I usually will go up, like towards the higher strings, but you could technically do it towards the lower strings. I guess that would be down, because you're going down to the lower strings, up to the higher strings. So you kind of go 16, bend up to 18, down to 16, and then pull off. Actually, I picked this one down to on 14. I love how the song starts quietish and then just gets more and more powerful until Ray starts singing. Baby, you live in a world of a million problems. No, I can't sing. Nope, not today. I need more water. This is why they gave me the job of guitar. Okay. And then you go straight into the chorus. The chorus starts with that A9 chord. Exactly. A9 chord. So you go open A, 11th fret of the D string, 13th of G, 12th of B, and then open E. Very pretty chord. Now, I'm gonna digress because it's fun teaching you guys music theory stuff that I am actually somewhat confident on. It's fun. The E add 9 and the A9. What is the difference chord-wise between those? Because you'd think they've both got the 9, but one says add and one doesn't. The difference is that with the E add 9 chord, you're just playing a normal chord. You're playing a triad, so an E, and then that would be G sharp and B. Those are the notes in the E triad, the E major triad. and you just add a ninth note. So that's 4 notes total. With the A9, you are building up to the ninth. If you keep stacking major and minor thirds on top of your triad, so you go E to G sharp to B, the next note you would add would be the 7th of the chord, which is that D sharp. So basically you're building the entire chord, and then the note after the 7th that you add is the 9. So instead of saying A add 9, it's an A9 because it includes the full A triad and the A7, the 7th, and then the 9. So basically, whenever you see add 9 versus 9 or add 13 versus 13, if it says add, you're playing the normal triad, but you're just adding the extra note. So it's just one extra note. If it just says the chord and then the number, that means you actually have to build up to that number with extensions. And it might, they might say, like omit one of them. But that's basically what that means. So an A9 is including the B. And the B is the 7th note in relation to A. That's why it's an A9. It's because it includes that 9, which I believe... Oh, I'm sorry. B is the 9th. And then the 7 is this... I'm sorry. The 7th is this G sharp that's included in it. Yeah. Wow, addition. Okay, gotta be able to wash a dish. Just a singular dish. Have fun. All right, so let's go ahead and get through this. So E add 9, build up. That little lead part from 16 to 18 to 16 to 14. And then you've got the A9 chord. This is really the start of the chorus, is this A9. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you switch to the next chord, that C sharp minor 7 add 4. A very jazzy chord. You switch to that chord on the and of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So, as you can see, you've got 9 on E, skip over A, just kind of mute it with the end of your finger, and then 9 on D, 9 on G, and then 7 on B. And you can hear that A is making no noise, pretty much. All right, and you only hit that for like one stab. And you only hit it for 1/8 note. Because it's got a fun little melody part. This melody part harmonizes with itself. So, the melodies that you're stacking on top of each other are, on the B string, you go 7, 9, 7, 9. And then 7 on E, and then 9 to 7 on B, and then 5 on B. And then you've got a harmony, a lower third harmony with it, which is 8 to 9 on G. You do it twice. So you do 8 to 9, 8 to 9, 9 on B, 9 to 8 on G again, and then 6 on G. So the way you finger that is you do, this is on the B string, so the fingerings are a little weird. You've got this kind of major chord shape, which is actually a minor. It's a minor chord. And then you do this kind of stacked on top of each other. So you do 8 and 7 for your first chord on G and B, respectively, 8 and 7. And then hammer on with your ring finger and your pinky finger to the 9 and 9 on G and D, on G and B. So it's just those two strings. And then once you've gone up to the 9 and 9 twice, you keep your fingers on that 9, throw your index finger on the 7th fret of the E, And then I usually like to do a little upstroke, and I just hit that 7th fret of the E, and my pinky is still on the 9 from the B string. You just keep it there. And then I do a downstroke back to the 9-9. So 8-7, up to 9, up to 9 and 9, then back down, back up, and then that's 7 and 9 on E and B, and then 9 and 9 again on G and B, and then 8 and 7, slide down to 6 and 5. Ren says, my teacher just made me start a group chat with her and 2 other people, and it was so awkward because she was my English teacher, and now I have to pretend I use really good grammar and punctuation. I'm sure you'll be fine. Your messages are always pretty well worded, so hey. And we have word time with UFN half the time, so, I mean, you'll do fine. So there you go. It's basically 2-note interval melody with I just love that part so much. So you go straight from that C sharp minor 7 add 4 chord. Luckily, the way the chord is, I'll keep my index finger on the 7th fret of the B string already just to hit that chord. So I just need to move my other fingers out of the way, bring my middle finger down, and lift the other ones. So I'm kind of already set up on that melody because you can see my ring finger stays still when I switch. It pivots, but... And then you go right back down to the E add 9. You like how the thing at the bottom of the screen is like, Joe. All right. So you go A9, C sharp minor 7 add 4, melody. I'll call it interval melody. And then you go back down to that E add 9 chord. 1, 2, and you hit that E add 9 chord on the 2 of the measure. So you don't hit it on the strong beat. You hit it on the weak beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you hit the next one on kind of anticipation. You hit that F sharp add 9 omit 3, which is a really convoluted way to say it's a power chord stacked on top of another power chord. Literally power chord, and then you just take the higher note and act like it's a power chord. So I usually will hit that with my index, middle, and ring, or sorry, middle and pinky. That's the most comfortable stretch for me. You could also hit it with your ring finger if that's more comfortable for you, because that's more of a comfortable power chord shape. But for me, I think the middle finger allows me just to feel a little more in control. I don't know what it is. F at sharp add 9 is too many characters for a chord name. F sharp add 9 omit 3. I don't think so. You might be. Yeah, it takes half an hour just to say. Yeah, it's an add 9 chord, but you're not playing. It's different from the add 9 chord that we had before because it doesn't have the 4th note, which is the 3rd of the scale. So it's different, guys. It's different. What does F sharp minor 7 add 9 look like? Oh, where is that one? I had a stupid, like, all right, here's the thing. There is a little bit of interpretation when it comes to some of these chords. So F sharp, okay, so I don't have that one written down. F sharp minor 7 add 9. So technically, you would not write that as an add 9 chord then. You would write that as an F sharp minor 9 chord. Because the 7, if you have the 7, you've already built up the triad, and then you add the 7th, and then you add the 9. So you're talking about the whole extended chord. So F sharp, I'm sorry, Jack. So if you're doing minor, so it's got that B. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this an octave up. And then I can add the 9 there. Well, we will find a way to play this. That's That's the way I can play that exact chord. It's a pretty chord. Good chord choice, Jack. That's beautiful. All right, so I'm getting distracted by chat. Okay, let's go ahead and get through this. I like getting distracted by chat. You guys are great. Oh, yeah. That is a pretty chord. Okay, so you've got that F sharp add 9. All right, and then the next parts are kind of, I'm going to have to explain them to you because they're not on the chord chart, because they're just barely explainable enough. All right, so we've got that E add 9 on the intro. Melody, the bend. I'll call it the bend. Intro, bend, A9, interval melody, E add 9, and then the F sharp add 9 chord. I'll just call it the F sharp add 9. So you go to that E9 again, and again it hits on 2. 1. And then the next chord is implying a G sharp. No, I'm sorry, it's implying a different chord. It's implying a B, because it's basically hitting the notes of a B power chord, but leaving out the B. So you're hitting the 4th fret of the D string and the 4th fret of the G string. The why you wanna? That's what that is. It's not the bend part. It's the why you wanna. Okay. So 4 and 4 on D and G. And it's a really aggressive strum. You can see I'm literally just throwing my fingers over the rest of the strings. It looks like I'm muting everything, but I actually am keeping a little arch in my fingers. This finger is muting all of the strings below it. So the meat of this is just muting the B and E. And then the rest of these are muting the B, the low B, the low E, and the low A. And so I just throw my hand at it, and I don't even really try to. I do, actually. Never mind. I just really mute these to protect myself in case of a bad strum. So I really aggressively pick about halfway through the guitar. So D, halfway down the strings of the guitar. So D and G. And then you hit that open A string. This is going to be a little single note part where you kind of hold notes and they slide into each other. So you go from that E at, so you go from the little interval melody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ba, ba. So now you're on A. You hit that open A string, 6th fret of the G, and then the 9th fret of the D. So you've got to kind of have this spread out position. And so you hit A, G, D, and then slide down from that 9 on D down to the 6 on D. And carry that first index finger down to the 4th fret of the G string. So you go from 6 to 4. And you can kind of lift up the G string so that you don't hear the slide from. You can kind of hear it cut out. Because I just do it like that. Because you're going to hit that 4 right after. You can kind of think of it as an like a full chord here with these 2 notes and the A. So A, and then 9 on D, 6 on G. And then you slide the whole thing down to A, and then 6 on D, 4 on G. So you do A, G, D, slide, G, D, and then pull off. Actually, no, you pick it. You just lift off to 4 on D, and then 2 on D. So A, G, D, slide, G, D, D, D. I actually slide down to that 2 on D. And then when you go back up, so you go 6, 4, 2 on D. And so when you've slid down to 2, you go back up to 4 to 6 to 4. I have a tiny bit of water left. Thank you for the hydrate check. I'll have to go read. So when you go back up, you can see I'm doing that little descent. So open 6, 9, 6, 4, 6, 4, 2. And those are on G and D. So go back up to the 4 on D and hit that open A with it. Hammer onto the 6 on D. And then hit the 4 again on D. And then back down to 2. So you're going to go... Wait. Why am I being squished? This is uncomfortable. Don't squish me, guys. I'm very sensitive about my squishies. Oh no. Oh no. It's happened. Oh, can't I? What? Oh, I thought I could squish myself. I thought I could squish my camera. As a prank. Nope, it's not going to let me. Something locked? It's locked. Oh, I'm an idiot. I could have done this joke flawlessly. Oh, no, I can't. There we go. I'm getting squished. What are you doing? No, I'm getting squished. Okay. Okay. So, what is this melody? I stopped in the middle of it. All right, so. We've gotten that far. So, you can see it kind of does a little descent, back up, and then descend again. Once you get to the D string. And then you interrupt that A string ringing out with a 4-2 on the A string. Get my left-handed more in view. The real trick is to get that slide down from 9 to 6 on D really clean to where they can hear it. Because you can get lost in the ringing of the low A string. It is just emote hell right now. Jesus, this is so fun. I gotta dodge all of them now. Okay. And now that you're down on the from the 4th fret to the 2nd fret on the A, now that you're on the 2nd fret of the A, you can form a little power chord. So it's a B power chord. So you've got 2nd fret A, 4th fret D, 4th fret G, and hit that low E with it. And fun fact, now we've made an E add 9 chord that's different from the one we had before because it's an E add 9 omit 3. You can see the difference. We've got this chord right here, that's the E add 9. And then we take this chord, which is the 3rd, and just move it up to where our pinky is under it on the next string up. There you go. It went away because I don't know if John can do that one. I have no idea. Oh, zoom. Oh, yeah, I don't know if I can do that. The closest I can do is take the camera off and hold it up to my face. So you've got this B power chord and hit that low E with it. And make sure you hit that G as well. It's important that you emphasize the E. Or emphasize the B. Because it makes a really nice contrast. Makes a really nice contrast with that E. And then you've got that little... Same thing with the E add 9 chord, by the way, from before. Once you hit this chord, this E add 9 omit 3, which is not on the chord chart, it's just a power chord, which is why I left it off. Slide up an octave to 14, 16, 16 on A through G, respectively. Just literally an octave up. Keep hitting that open E string. And there's a lot of fancy, fun 16th note strums going on here. And then you go back down to that F sharp add 9 omit 3. And you hit that twice. And then you hit it 2 more times on 8th notes instead. So quarter, quarter, 8th note, 8th note. And then you slide up real quick and hit that G sharp on a single note, no chord, for 1/8 note. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. And then you hit that A and A9 chord on the and of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4. So you're back to the 4. And then you do that same C sharp minor 7 add 4 chord. And you do another melody with it. If you remember from the rhythm part, this is where we go. 3. That's the 6, 5. If you see near the very end of that chord progression chart. I'm holding my finger up right there. 6, 5. Ba, ba, ba. So you do that, what is that? C sharp minor 7 add 4. And then there's a little melody. B, it's on the B string, starts on the B string. 7, 9, 7, so it's a little hammer on and pull off. 7, 9, 7. And then you hit the 9th fret of the G string, pull off to the 6th fret of the G string. Sometimes I'll pick it, but I actually prefer, I think most of the time I prefer to pick it. So remember, you're hitting that C sharp minor 7 add 4 on quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So you're literally filling the other 2 beats with that little melody. So again, 7, 9, 7 on B, 9 to 6 on G. And remember, you don't need to take your entire hand off. In that C sharp minor 7 add 4, your index finger should already be on the starting note of that melody. And then we go to that B. You see right next to the F sharp add 9 omit 3, there's a B chord. It's literally the same chord we already played when we had that low E, but you're adding the note above your G string. And you eliminate the low E, so it's just a B. This is a B major chord. It's just super bright, super happy, super dominant. So, there you go. And then you do another melody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2. And so you hit the next melody, because there's a melody right after that B chord. You hit it on the and of 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So you hit the 9th fret of the G and then pull off to the 8th fret of the B. Oh, have fun with dinner and burrito, Ren. Thank you for stopping in. It was great having you. So, feels very anticlimactic, but I'm also glad that the horror of the last 2-3 weeks is over. Oh, sweet. You'll be able to... Ah, cool. So you're getting kind of wrapped up with school. That'll be awesome. It'll be good to see you, Perrond. Okay, so... All right, I got to go back. All right, listen. Okay. I'm very happy to have you back. That's going to be awesome to see you. More often. B. So it goes 9 to 8 on G. And you hold that 9 on G a little bit. And then you do pull off from 9 to 6 on D. So that's actually nice. So are the 2 melodies that you play. So 9, 8, 9, 6 on G and then B. Thank JON. So yeah, you're punctuating in between those melodies with those chords. So C sharp, melody, B, melody. And now we're on to that G sharp minor 7 omit 3, which is really just a 3-note bar chord. It's a power chord with a bar chord beneath it for one more string. I believe you did great, Piran. I'm sure you did awesome. I'm proud of you. So you got 4, 6, 4 on E, A, and D respectively. And that's for 3/8 notes. 1, 2, 3. And then you go right up to that A7 omit 3, which is basically the same shape as the A9, but you don't hit any open strings. That's why I notated it differently. So 4, 6, 4, and then 5, 7, 6. So you hit them 3 strums each. Those are on 8th notes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you go down to this B omit 3 over F sharp, which again is just like that B chord that with the low E on it. But you roll your index finger to also hit the 2nd fret of the E. So you're hitting that same chord, but you make sure that your low finger is hitting both the 2nd fret of the E and A strings. So you've got that melody part. So again, that G sharp minor 7 omit 3 is for 3/8 notes. A7 omit 3 is for 3/8 notes. And then the next one, that inverted chord, is for the rest. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. It's for the next measure and 1 quarter note. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you've got a little chord climb here. I'm gonna assume you guys kind of already know how these are. You're gonna be able to get used to how these chords are. So it's pretty simple. You go. The chord progression, I'm sorry. I'm like getting lost in the song. I enjoy it very much. 2nd fret of the D string, and then 4th fret of the G string, 4th fret of the B string. So it's just the power chord on the D string. But because the B string is weird, as we've said many times here on John Teaches Guitar, because the high B string is really weird, that B, it makes it a 7th chord. So you hit this, again, almost all of these next ones are going to be for 3/8 notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and then you slide up from 2, 4, 4 on D, G, B, 2, 4, 4 on D, G, B, respectively, up to 4, 6, 5 on those same strings, and then up to 6, 8, 7. 5, 6. 1 and 2 and 4 and 5 and 6 and then, so basically you can see that first chord is like a power chord. The next two are just like the A7 omit 3, just on the 4th fret and the 6th fret as their root notes. And you hold that third one for a little extra, for twice as long. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and then you do that same power chord shape on 7, 9, and 9 of D, G, and B. But you allow your pinky finger to drift up to 10 for 2 notes, and then back down to 9. So for 4/8 notes, you go 9, 10, 10, 9. And then you stop. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and. So your last note should be on the and of 8. 1 and 2 and 7 and 8 and 1, 2, 3. All right. And then you're into the verse. Let me go ahead and run through these chords one by one. Just no rhythm. I'm just going to play them for you. And then we're going to play the whole thing slow. And then we're going to play it to speed. So they can just hold you indefinitely in school by not scheduling you for an essential test. Seems fair. Uh-oh. Rip. That sucks. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? That is how the world works. Okay. So, intro is that E add 9 chord. Build up on the low. Go to the high. Octave up. And then that little dwa-yi-wada, as Jack said, the little bend from 16 to 18 to 16 to, and then pull off to 14. Actually, again, I pick 14. I always call it a pull off, but it's a pick. And then you go to that A9 chord. And then C sharp minor 7, add 4. And then you do your little interval melody. And then you do that E add 9 chord again. Then the F sharp add 9 omit 3. And then you do your little 4 and 4 on D and G. Twice, aggressively. Aggressively strum. So. And then you hit the open A string and do your little kind of slidey walk down melody from 6 on G, 9 on D, and then slide down to 6 on D, 4 on G, 6 on D, and then 4, 2, and then when you hit 4 again on D, hit that open A, and then up to 6 on D, 4 on D, 2 on D, 4 on A, 2 on A. And then you hit that open E with a B power chord up to G. And then slide it up an octave after a measure. And make sure you land on it on the and of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you go back to that F sharp add 9, omit 3. Hit that G sharp single note on the 4th fret of E for 1 note, for 1/8 note. And then you go right to that A9 chord again. And you can hit the open string for the A9 first, and then add the high notes, because you need that time to reposition. It's freaking impossible to go. It's possible, but it's not needed, and it actually, I like the chord hitting A and then revealing itself. And then you go back to that C sharp minor 7, add 4 with a little melody, 7, 9, 7 on B, 9, 6 on G, and then that B power chord, or B major chord right there, 9, 8 on G, 9, 6 on D. And then you go to that G sharp minor 7, omit 3, up to the A sharp, or A7, omit 3, and then that B omit 3 over F sharp. And then you do that little walk up from 2, 4, 4, and these are all on D, G, and B. 2, 4, 4, 4, 6, 5, 6, 8, 7. I can't numbers right now. And then you hold that one for twice as long. And then you do 7, 9, 9 for the first strum. And then you go to the 10th fret on B for 2 strums, and then back down to the 9. And then you do a 3-note rest, 3-beat rest for the verse, and then you're into the verse. All right. Chord 7, omit 3, be like, I'm not a power chord. Bite me. Oh my gosh. I love, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I love those chords that are like, I'm almost a power chord, but I've got something weird about me, you know? All of the add 9 chords, the 7th chords, just so much fun. They're so much fun, dude. It's so much more meaty if you know how to use them. So, all right, let's go ahead and play through this at a slower tempo. I'm going to include the intro. We're going to do a little count-in. And to be like, but I... Honestly, yeah, learning how to do these chords is really the hard part. Learning how to switch between them quickly. So, 1, we're gonna start from E add 9. Just like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, verse. Boom. There you go. That's how you do it. And I actually kept the counting pretty steady. I actually probably could have done it over the melodies too. I just chose to not because I felt like they were very accentuated. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one throws me off. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Woo! Those are fun. All right, let's go ahead and play it full speed. And then we'll play it to the track because this is the part that repeats. And it's the harder part. It's more complicated, so I want to make sure we get as many reps in on it. And, of course, you can go ahead, when you watch the VOD, pause it, you know, all of that. All right. So, real quick, before we do that, I want to read chat a little bit. Piran says, I was missing one last project that I hadn't turned in yet. You had 4 semesters to do it. And you had to have the graded project turned in officially by today at midnight. So you did a 26-hour speed run, finished it in a week. Took the professor a few days to grade and sent it back. Let's see. And by the time I had it and sent it to the university to officially turn it in, they had already left their office, so I couldn't sign myself up for that exam. Oh, that sucks for the exam. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. It's fine. No, vent it. It's totally fine. We are a place to get away from problems, but if you want to just vent about it, that's totally fine. And we appreciate you coming in and being honest and being cool. So thank you. All right. You did. Yeah. Tried so hard. Okay. So let's go ahead and play the riff full speed. So from the same place. E add 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, One, two, three. Boom. Boom, we're at the verse. Heck yes. All right, we're going to play it one more time through with the track. We'll play it all together. So join me. If you want to just play the rhythm part, totally fine. I do recommend learning this lead part, though. It's so freaking fun. I don't know if you can tell by how I play, but it's just so much fun to hit all these freaking, like, big, chunky chords on, like, these quick, with these quick switches and little melodies in between. It's so much fun. That's what makes this song hard. This is, like, one of the harder parts of the song, just because it's so consistently difficult to switch the chords. And once you learn it, though, it's a blast. So, all right, I'm going to have to pick up on the little part because this is going to start immediately. There you go. All right. John likes them chonky, the chords. Absolutely. I friggin' love the chords in this song. They make me feel so nice and warm inside. All right. Now we're on the John likes big chords and he cannot lie. Yep. You other brothers can't deny. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into the verse. Just like the rhythm guitar part, the verse is a lot simpler. It's a lot easier to get your head around. We're already at 4 o'clock. Oh my gosh. But I've already taught you the chorus. That's like the main big part. All right. Verse. You got that E add 9 chord. If you remember from the rhythm guitar part, it's going to be a similar strumming pattern. So, and then at that point, the rhythm guitar part would go to the C sharp, but you go to the A. So, all right. So, E add 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you do those quick strums. Those are for the lead guitar part. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you do them on 16th notes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. And then this is really just the G sharp, I believe. Where are we at? Oh, yeah, no, it doesn't have, it actually doesn't have. Oh, did I put it in the wrong order? I trusted it to be in the right order, and it wasn't in the right order. Okay, that G sharp minor, it should have been in right where that C sharp minor 7 is. So in your head, flip those chords. G sharp minor comes next. You do E add 9, and then you do a whole bar chord on 4th fret of the E string, and you hit that 6th fret of the A and D strings. And this is a very muted aesthetic. And you do little like punches like that where you hit the whole chord. Now it's a lie. Exactly. I expected them to. I literally looked at the I did the chords in order when I made these little chord charts. I made each chord individually in order. I guess I didn't make that one in order because I looked at them the date they were created. So I am a liar, I guess. Well, put that chord down, flip it, and reverse it. Rip. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so yeah, make sure on the 3 of each measure, 2, 3, 4, you accentuate that chord and hit it all open, let it ring out. You're really creating that halftime feel. 2, 3, 4. You're accentuating the snare. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you go basically to that A9 chord. And you really just hit it in a very squelchy, like almost kind of semi-muted sound. So you hit the open A string, and then you slide up the strings, almost like you're trying to sweep pick it. You can even try to pinch harmonic some of them on the way. And then on that high note, the 12 on B, once you reach that 12, slide down to the 9th fret on the B string. Really, what the guitarist, if you were to try to write this in MIDI, the way you would do it is just open A, and then you do a slide from 12 to 9. But you throw in the rest of the chord in there because it sounds nice, all right? Once you've slid from 12 to 9 on B, pinch harmonic, you do a hammer-on from 7 to 9 on E. So you kind of, I usually slide down with I'm on my middle finger on the B string, and then I use my index and ring to do the hammer-on from E. So I let go of my middle finger there. This part's fun and hard. This is actually, there's 4 of these little things. So you'll notice that the way the verse progression goes is it goes E add 9 at the start, and then it goes G sharp minor, and then some sort of melody. And then it goes to E add 9 again when you arpeggiate, and then you do that C sharp minor 7, so you're arpeggiating, and then you go back to that G sharp minor minor chord. So really, the chord progression is E, G sharp minor, and then you do a melody, sometimes around A, sometimes around C sharp, and then you go back down to E add 9, C sharp, and then G minor, G sharp, and then you repeat it. E, G sharp, melody, E, C sharp, G sharp. So the only difference is that little melody will change every time. So you've got 2 of these in each verse. So there's 4 different melodies to learn. Otherwise, the verse is exactly the same. So let me go ahead and finish teaching you the rest of this melody, and then I'll finish teaching you one phrase of the verse. And then just know you can copy and paste that phrase of the verse each time, but the melody that you hit halfway through it is going to be different for each of the times it comes up. 2 times in one verse, in verse 1, 2 times in verse 2. They're totally different. So the first one is probably one of the harder ones. So that open A string, and then that A9 chord, and you just kind of sweep pick it up to the 12. It's not sweep picking, but it feels like it. And then slide down to 9. Hammer on from 7 to 9 on E. And then you do a little kind of flavor slide from, I usually go from 8 to 11 on G. Do a little vibrato And then the next part, do your little flavor slide up to 11, and then your fingers, since I do my ring finger for that. Then my index and middle finger are free to do the next part. 9 to 10 to 9 on B. It's a little hammer-on pull-off. And make sure your index finger is also hitting the 9 on the G string, because you're going to go right down to it. So, A9. So open A string and then the A9 chord. Slide down, hammer on, slide up to that 11 on G with a little vibrato. And then 9 to 10 to 9 on B, and then 9 on G. And then you do a hammer on with your ring finger down to the 11th fret on D. You do not pick this. So you don't have to do it that fast. Okay. And then, once you've hit that 11 on D, lift your index finger. Actually, you should do this while you're hitting the 11 on D. Do it simultaneously. Lift your index finger off of the B string, because you're going to need to play the open B string as kind of a contrast to that hammer on with the 11 on D. So it's 9 to 10 to 9 on B, 9 on G, and then hammer on onto 11 on D, open B. And I recommend keeping your index finger, don't lift it off completely, just lift it and arch it so it's on the 9 on G, because the next part after you hit that open B is you hit the chord 11 and 9, which is a minor third interval on D and G. You slide it up from 11 and 9. You're doing a little slide from 11 and 9 to 13 and 11 on D and G. So, just like that. And you can let that B string, that open B, ring out during it. It's really hard to get at a fast tempo because your fingers just get all, like, twisted up. So, to review, A9, slide down, hammer on, slide up with vibrato, hammer on pull off riff, and then down to that G, hammer on to D, open B, and then hit the entire chord and slide it up immediately to 13 and 11. So 11 and 9 to 13 and 11. All right. So I have got. All right. So I taught you guys one melody. So that's one of the melodies that is in the verse. So let me go ahead and show you the rest of the verse progression. So I'll review the first part of it. So you've got that E add 9 to the G sharp minor 7 or G sharp minor chord. And remember, you accent on the third beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. First melody. And then you go right back down to that E add 9 chord. That's the fun part, is you're doing all this, like, you're doing all this sliding around and really, like, aggressive strumming and, like, stuff, and then you slide right down. So you're all the way up here, slide right down to that E add 9 chord again. What's great about it is that you have some time, because you don't need to go right down and hit the whole chord again. You're arpeggiating it. So halfway through the phrase, after you've done the melody, each of the verses goes like this. They go like this. They'll go that E add 9 chord, and you arpeggiate it. So you do E, A, D, A, G, D, A, D. You can actually. I thought of a way that is convenient for me in my head to remember it, but I realize if I explain it, it's just going to make it more confusing. All right, and then you have all of these arpeggiated notes muted. Kind of slowly, very lightly lift off of the muting as you do it. Almost make it not noticeable. And then when you switch to that C sharp minor 7, which is, by the way, you just flip your pinky up to the E string, and then you flip your middle finger down to the A string. So they just switch strings. It's literally, you've gone from making a power chord with these two fingers to making a minor third shape with these two fingers. Wait, hold up. Let me make sure. I'm sorry. They're on the A and D strings, not E and A. So it's you flip the pinky to the 4th fret of the D or of the A string, and then your middle finger to the 2nd fret of the D string. Ah, shoot. And then you do the same kind of arpeggiation. However, instead of doing E, A, D, and G, you do A, D, G, and B string. You do the A, D, G, and B strings. And you do the same exact arpeggiating pattern. So, but you have to do it one string up. So A, D, G, D, B, G, D, G. And at this point, when you're hitting this chord, really lift off of that muting. So you go from that E add 9 to the C sharp minor 7. And again, same exact arpeggiating pattern, just move the pattern up one string. So E, A, D, A, G, D, A, D to the next chord being A, D, G, D, B, G, D, G. And then go to that G sharp minor chord, and then remember, accent that third hit. You don't really need to do it on the arpeggiation. I sometimes will give that third note, like that third arpeggiated, the note on the third beat that's arpeggiated, I'll give it a little more oomph, but very rarely. And then you build up on that G sharp minor chord. And then, if you're halfway through the verse, so if you're going to go into another phrase, one more phrase of it, you hit that G sharp minor 7 chord. And then I will move off of the low root note, because what you're going to do is you're going to arpeggiate up this G sharp minor chord starting from the A string. So you don't even need the root note anymore. Just move your finger down, make it easier on your hand so you're not applying force across the whole fretboard. Just move your fingers down to right here, because you just need to hit the strings that are below your pinky and middle finger, or ring finger right here. So you're going to go build up the chord, hit it, really accentuate it on the third beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then go A, D, G, B. Just climb up the strings. And then hit E. So you're literally barring G, B, and E with this finger on the 4th fret. And then quickly move your pinky to the 7th fret of the B string. So E, 7th fret of B, and then do 4 on B, and then 5 on B. Boom. All right. That is one phrase of the verse. And again, they're all exactly the same, aside from the melody part halfway through being different. So you do those little chord build-ups with the accentuation on the third beat. E add 9, G sharp minor, first melody, arpeggiated E add 9, and then arpeggiated C sharp minor 7, G sharp minor with the ascending arpeggiation. And then you start one more phrase. Each verse has 2 phrases of these. So do the same exact thing. The only difference being this next phrase, you're going to do a different melody. For the second phrase of the first verse, it's a bit simpler. Keep that same A9, slide down to 9 on, from 12 to 9 on B, hammer on 7 to 9, so exact same as the start of the first melody. This one, instead of going down to 11 on G, go to 12 on E, pull off to 11 on E, and then hit that 12 on B, and create that kind of ninth or second interval by going to 9 on E. So 12 on B, 9 on E. 12 to 11 on E, 12 on B, 9 on E. And then go ahead and do little chord stabs with 9 and 9 on E, and then 7 and 7 on E. So that's B and E. 9 and 9 on B and E, 7 and 7 on B and E. And then again, the second half of the phrase is always the same, except for when you're exiting the verse. So you do the arpeggiation, A add 9, and then you do the G sharp minor build up, arpeggiate up. But when you're leaving the verse and you're going to go to a chorus, so the second time, every time you do the phrase of the verse the second time, instead of doing the high note, lower note, low note, and then back up, instead, when you're exiting the verse, go 4 on E, 7 on B, and then 5 on B, 4 on B. So you descend the whole thing. And then you're in the chorus. So halfway through the verse, the end of the phrase looks like... At the end of the verse, the phrase looks like... It's a very important difference that I demand, if you're going to learn it, you know about it and that you do it. If I can do the arpeggiation right. And then you're back into the chorus. So you do that little descending. So 4 on E, 7 on B, 5, 4, open A, and right into that A9 chord. And you're off to the races on the chorus. So once again, the verse slowly is, there's a 3-beat rest. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. First melody, 3, 4, 1. I can't do that counting over it. Let me try this again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Different melody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Chorus. So up to speed, the verse is 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, shoot. 1, 2, 3, 1. And then again, yeah, you're off to the chorus. And chorus is exactly the same, so play it the same way. 1, 2, 3. So this is the first verse. I'm playing it a little fast. I'm trying to speed through it. Right, okay. There's one difference about the chorus the second time around. When you're doing that little walk up at the very end, the 2-4-4, 4-6-5, 6-7, or 6-8-7, and instead of and that whole walk up, instead of going to 7-9-9 and going up to 10 and then back down to 9 on B string, instead you go. This is a little tricky chord here. It's actually the same shape as the G sharp minor 7 omit 3. You're on the D string, G string, and B string. 9th fret, 11th fret, 9th fret. And then you go from that 9th fret on the B string, let your pinky hit the 12th fret on the B string, back down to the 9, and then hit that 11 on G again. So you're really just hitting that little melody with that chord ringing below it. So, and then you go straight into the second verse. So, again, the second chorus, it goes, the second half of it goes. And then you get into the verse. And then the next melody. Whereas, so that was the second chorus. Whereas the other one ends. 1, 2, 3, verse. All right, so second verse, we're at the second verse. Again, it does not have that 3-beat rest like the first one does. You just go straight in. So again, E add 9, G sharp minor. And then this is the third melody because we've done the this verse phrase twice. So we've done the first and second melody. So this one's probably the most fun and gets the most eyes. So you go A, that A9 chord, slide down to 9. That's always the same. Hammer on to from 7 to 9 on E. This one is a tap, a double tap in triplets. Triplet, triplet, triplet. I think that's an eighth note triplets. Yeah. So it's because that would be 16th note triplets. Because 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Triplet, 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 trip. So you're doing them. I like to think about them in groups of 3, like because they're triplets. Sometimes I like thinking about them in groups of 2 for different songs, but for this one, I think of them in groups of 3. So it's a double tap riff. You go 12 on E, pull off to 11 on E, pull off to 7 on E. So that's the first group. All right. All right, then the next one, so from 12 to 11 to 7 on E, and then you do a pull off from 9 to 7 on B, and then down to 9 on G. So 9 to 7 to 9 on B, B, G. Hold up. There you go. And then the next group of 3 is 8 to 9 on G. And then you hit the harmonic of so this will be in group. This is 4 notes now. So 8 to 9 on G, and this is still triplets, by the way. 7th fret harmonic of 7th fret harmonic of B, and then 7th fret harmonic of E. Just like that. So what's nice is you do the little tap and pull off. And the only time I pick during this riff is for the fret harmonics. Everything else is hammer on and pull off. Oh, come on. So you got to make sure you just have your hand ready to hit the B and then E strings. It's super fun to do, and when you get it, it just feels so nice in the rhythm of everything. What is nice is you've got that A9 chord, slide down to the 9, and then when you do that hammer on from 7 to 9, you can keep your index finger on that 7th fret, because you're going to do the double tap riff from there. You just lift your middle finger off the 9th fret. So you've got that kind of big spread. You've got 11 to 7 with your left hand, and then you do 9 to 7 on B with your left hand, and then it gets smaller again and goes 9 to 8. So like the gap between the notes that you're hitting with your left hand gets smaller, smaller, smaller. Oh, come on. And then the ultimate smallness, they're the same fret. It's closing the gap. Just like that. So, and then the second half of the phrase ends the same as the first phrase. Arpeggiation on E add 9, C sharp minor 7, G sharp minor, arpeggiate up, and then you're going to go into another verse phrase. So this is the 4th and final verse phrase. The last melody is A add 9 with that hammer on from 7 to 9. So slide down to 9 on B, hammer on 7 to 9. So this one goes, it's a little more chordy than any of the others. So this one is 12 to 11 on E, and then you throw your middle finger and ring finger down to 13 and 14 on G and B. Hit them both. So 12 to 11 on E, and hang on that 12 for a bit. And then you go 16, 14 on B. Hit that as a chord, just as like a little stab. And then go up to 18, 16. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. 17, 16. So 18, 16, 17, I'm sorry, I'm terrible. 16, 14, 17, 16. Those are the chords. So 12 to 11 on E, and then a little tritone shape. So it's not a tritone, but it's a tritone shape because the B is weird. 13, 14 on B and G. And then on B and E, 16, 14, 17, 16. They're very hard to nail. All right, I take it back. I'm not terrible. I just made an error. John, we've talked about this. And then you go right back down to that A add 9. So you got that little chordy melody for the 4th time around. B add 9, C sharp minor 7, G sharp minor, arpeggiate up. And you're leaving the verse, because this is the 4th time around for the verse. Make sure you do the full descent. 4, 7, 5, 4. And now we are on the bridge. Oh, lordy. Okay, we're at a part that's a little more straightforward. It's not as complex. So, just to recap, by the way, the second verse goes like this. Let me actually do from the... because this is different, too. There you go. Second verse. double tap. Little chordy one. That's the most brutal slide down to E add 9. Now you're on the bridge. Woo! And right at this point, turn off your distortion, turn on your reverb as fast as possible. Because we are here. And I can just reference the chord charts here. E add 6 omit 3 is the first one. These chords are super spaced out. Like you're just kind of like drowning in them. They're I believe spaced out every 3/8 notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then that third note just rings. So 1 2 3 2. It rings for 4 measures. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3. Next chord. The next one is a B add 4 over F sharp, I believe. I think that's what that says. It's hard. It's kind of small. All right. And again, same formula. You're just hitting them every 3/8 notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4. I should probably complete the measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 3 4. 1 2 3. Next chord. It's the same exact shape, except you move it up a whole step, and then you take your ring finger and slide it up yet another fret. So that's the C sharp minor add 4 over G sharp. So you got B add 4 over F sharp. Let it ring for 4 measures. C sharp minor add 4 over G sharp. And that one rings for 2 measures. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And then you go straight to the B add 2 and 4. B add 2 add 4. I should mention that the arpeggiation for each of these is very particular. So the B add 6 omit 3, you hit that G string first, and then you hit the A string, so the lower note, and then you hit the high note. So it's middle, low, high. The B add 4 over F sharp goes just in ascending order. Same with the C sharp minor add 4 over G sharp, ascending order. For the strings. And then you do, again, that one's half as long for the ring out. And then you go B add 2 and 4. And the arpeggiation for this is open B string, D, G, E. Now, the ring out time for this one is weird. We actually do a drop like half a measure. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I believe we took off a measure because if you imagine it, 1, 2, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 14, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4, 13, 2, 3, 4. It's very weird. It does the first 2 chords 4 measures. The next chord is 2 measures, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next one rings out for 3 measures. So 4, 4, 2, 3. I forgot how to count because I was playing guitar. I'm not terrible. I'm not terrible. That's not what I am. I made a mistake. All right. So yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Jack. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And then there's a little melody that goes along with these chords, so you actually fill in a little space during the ring out. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Take that 7 on the E string, hit it once, and then do a little hammer on. Or sorry, you don't do a little hammer on. Hit the 9 and pull off, back down to 7, while keeping the chord. And then 9 on B. So you're doing that all on E. And again, super spaced out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then for the next one, start arpeggiating back down. The arpeggiation intervals are kind of distinct. 1, 2, 3. So this is every eighth notes. Every 3 eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so they're very specific. Hopefully you can pick them out from what I just did there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and those are all dotted quarters. 1 and so 3 eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then once you're back up to this B add 2 add 4 chord, you do that little 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you strum it. So you go from 4. So second time around, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you strum it on every as a whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, half note. There. And then we're back to the build up, or then we're to the build up out of the bridge. So to repeat, you can see from that E add 6 omit 3 chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and chord. All right. Now we're at the build up out of the bridge. Still keep that really washy reverb on. And you're doing the same exact chords as the exit to the chorus. So 2, 4, 4, and then 4, 6, 5, 6, 8, 7, and then up to 7, 9, 9. You're going to loop those twice. And then you hit that last chord 4 times aggressively. I'll usually turn my reverb off in about the middle of that, of those last 2 strums. So right before I hit those last 2 strums, I pull the reverb off. 4. And then we're in the ending of the chorus. So, to recap, you do those chords, 4 measures for the first one. 4 measures for the first one, 4 measures for the second one, 2 measures for the third one, 3 measures for the fourth one. Then you do it again and you add those little embellishments that I showed you. 4 measures for the first one, 4 measures for the second one, 2 measures for the third one, 2 measures for the next one, and then you strum it as chords for 2 more measures. And then you do your little build up out of the chorus or out of the bridge. Same with the same chorus chords at the end with a lot of reverb. And really strum those last 4 strums aggressively. Then we're into the outro of the song. We are almost done, guys. Don't worry. We're almost there. Okay. Go to that E add 9 chord. Throw your gain on, by the way. This is distortion part out the wazoo. It's a real like heavy groove, and your chords are really squelchy. They're very harmonic, so they really make chunky chords when you go real hard like this. So strum them pretty aggressively, but don't slam them, but pretty hard strums. So if you remember from the rhythm part, this goes E, G sharp, F sharp, same. It's 2 3-chord loops back to back. So you do it the first one, then the second one, then the first one again, then the second one. You're just going to do the extended version of these power chords. So the chords for this one are the E add 9, and then the final chord, the G sharp minor 7 sharp 5, which is actually an extended. So it's that bar chord, and then instead of doing your G sharp minor, you let the D string note just get caught by the bar chord, and then shift your 5th up to the 7th fret. And then you go down to that F sharp add 9 omit 3 chord, that really stretched one. So E add 9, ba, ba, and you hit those for 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. So you hit those for 2 quarter notes each, for 2 beats. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And do little 8th note strums in between them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then go up to the A9, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you go down to that C sharp minor 7 add 4. These chords should look familiar from the chorus. And then you do that E add 9 chord, but you do it from the octave up, which we slid up in the intro to hit that melody. So now we're reusing that octave up version with that low E ringing out beneath it to so you're still hitting the E add 9, just an octave higher. Bap, bap. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you hit on the 4 instead of on the downbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now, you go back and forth. So you go the first chord loop, you do it twice. Second chord loop, do it twice again. That whole thing. Do it again down here. So you do the first chord loop again twice. Second chord loop again twice. However, the very last time on that E add 9 chord, so you do it again. So you do it twice. When you go up to that E add 9 chord, the second time through for the second riff, you kind of let go of your pinky. You just do a little bar chord. So you do 14 on A, 13 on D and G, and you hit that low E string with it. With your pinky, hit the 16 on G, pull off back down to the 13 on G, and then 16 on D. So the chord is reformed. Just like that. So, again, this is the last time through the second riff. Play it twice. And then we're on to the very final section of the outro. You do that same chord progression loop, A9, C sharp minor 7 add 4, and then E add 9 octave up. But cut the time it takes you to do them in half. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4. If you remember from the rhythm part, it goes 3/8 notes. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you do 4 chords at 3/8 notes each, and then 2 more chords at 2/8 notes each. So that'll do 2 cycles, because it's first, second, third, first, second, third, first, second, third, first, second, third. And then you pick up the strumming. So you do this little rotation twice, and just do the 8th note strums in between. 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4. And then instead of doing 8th note strums, double it. Do 16th note strums. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and. So the last time through, so 1 and 2 and 4 and 1. So you do a full cycle. So 4 groups of 3/8 notes, and then 2 at 2/8 notes. 1 cycle. I guess 2 loops of the chord progression. 1 more cycle, and instead of going up to the E add 9, you just go. Let me explain this a different way. 1 cycle. 16th notes. There's a cycle. A add A9, and then C sharp minor 7 add 4, and then back up to A9, and hit it twice. Gosh, it's so hard to explain how it goes on in my head. And then to end it, while you're holding this chord out, reach your hand over, slide up, and use your other hand to continue the slide up when you're done. And then mute. And then you're done. And then I usually will slide back down so you can still hear it. Oh my god. Okay, so the outro. This one. All right. There we go. That is I'm Blue, taught part by part in its entirety. I'm going to play the lead guitar part one more time through with the track going, and then we'll call it a day. So, because we're already a little past the time limit, which is fine. I like this song so much, I'll play it all day if I get the chance. Let's go ahead and play through I'm Blue. Hopefully you guys can go back, pause, rewatch stuff, look at my hands, look at the chord chart, and figure it out. Let's play through this song and finish up this series. This is the last This Is Temporary song I'm teaching. All right. And this is my favorite. It's a good one to end on. So, do it. Oh, come on. I thought I clicked it. Two, three.
Tell me sorry if you have the guts, Spit your honesty finally. Have enough. I keep thinking you can turn yourself around, but I know it's working like a neon on a string. Write me down in your list of overcomes. I keep me just to rip me up every so and now. Tell me if I'm wrong, but do your attention.
There you go. Got it. All right. I'm Blue is complete. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for tuning in and learning the song. If you did, thank you for just watching and hanging out. I really appreciate it. You guys were very, very fun in the chat. It was great having you here. I'm going to go ahead and hide these little embellishments. Thank you so much for hanging out and accompanying me during this series. We've taught you guys every song. Oh God, I had to burp. We taught you guys every song on This Is Temporary, and we're pretty much all done. The videos from Misère, and I want to tell you, I don't know if we have them on YouTube. We might not. I think they just didn't get caught in the lessons. We can redo those if you guys want, or I can just leave those for you to figure out. They're actually really easy to kind of figure out the notes on. The notes are really clear, distinct. There's a lot more lead stuff happening in those songs instead of like a bunch of weird, muddy chords that are kind of hard to figure out, jumbled. They give it a lot of tone color, but they're hard to figure out what each of the notes are. Whereas if you're at least a bit... Misère is traditionally the hardest, I would say, just because it's got a lot of lead stuff. I'm just so practiced on it now that it's not as hard for me anymore. You're basically soloing through most of the song. But I personally think Untitled 1 and I'm Blue are more complicated. That's why I consider them a little harder. You're going all around the fretboard. The chord progressions aren't as clear. There's a lot of like weird swinging and not hitting on the downbeat. And triplet rhythms. It's very particular. Those songs are very particular. Whereas Misère, I feel like even a lot of the solo stuff, the strings that you're hitting are right next to each other. There's not a lot of string jumping. So as long as you can get it up to speed, like it's actually not that taxing on your hand to do. But if somebody said it was the hardest one, I actually wouldn't. Like if they thought it was the hardest one, I wouldn't blink. Like it's a difficult song. I'll give it that. It's just not. It's funny. It's not the. It's the least like my style, because actually that guitar part, that especially that chorus one, was written by Jack. And I love that song. It's got so much freaking dark energy, and it is very fun to play. It's just like I don't like groove with it the best because it's not how I naturally play, so I have to really focus on it and make sure I'm getting the like emphasis right. See, even that annoyed me. I messed up. It was supposed to be that, and I hit accidentally. I beat myself up more for messing up Misère. I think that's an important point. But, all right. Anyways, this is Chit Chat. I really do appreciate it. But actually, we have band practice we got to do. So, thank you so much for coming in. It's good seeing you, Prawn. It's good seeing you, Ren. Thanks for stopping by. I know Ren already left. Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Sad. Thanks to Sad. Thanks to everybody that's maybe tuning in silently. Hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to head out, and I will see you next week. We're going to be doing a little more gaming stuff. However, I might throw in more guitar stuff on Wednesdays, playing songs, playing requests. So really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great one, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and stop by on Friday at 2 p.m. for Jack's stream, 2 p.m. PST. Stop by Saturday, 2 p.m. for one of us to do some sort of gaming stream. And then Monday for Ray, Wednesday for me again. And yeah, all right, bye-bye.
Punctuality never mattered. It's just a fork in the road, just another random road. Sorry I kicked you, I just need to make up my mind. Things turning soft again. I'm afraid of losing
put your lips on mine in lovely aftertaste. Now I'm a ghost, I call your name, you look right through me. You're the reason all my feelings oscillate. I've been trying to fix my pride, but it's all broken. It's all broken. Lie, trying to hide, but now you know it. That I'm at an all-time low, 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 was the prototype like 3 steps on that CD. An example of the perfect candidate. Now all your girlfriends say that you don't want to see. You're the reason that I just can't concentrate. I've been trying to fix my pride, but it's all broken. It's all broken. Lie, I try to hide, but now you know it. That I'm at an all-time low, 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 I've been trying to fix my pride, but it's all broken. It's all broken. Lie.